Hey, Greenie, how you doing?
What's up, guys? It's Greeny. Oh,
Yeah, hey, let me see who's in the channel. I haven't checked yet. Oh, Waking Nomad. She sent a posted on Instagram from that building with the glass floor in Bangkok. You know the building that I'm talking about that has a glass
where
floor
you
that
can
you,
walk out on it in the
yeah,
King Power building. You can walk out on the ledge. I never
yeah.
did that.
Wicked, man. When I watch somebody do that, I get dizzy. I can't handle it, but I guess that's how
I
it
did
is.
it. I did it at the Grand Canyon.
Did you?
There's the Grand Canyon National Park, and then there's the Indian Reservation. They have the glass. They built the glass overhang. It
You know,
was a tourist
it's
trip.
It's funny. I'm a licensed pilot, and I can fly an airplane, and it doesn't bother me. You know, 7,000 feet up in the air, looking straight down. But you get me on a building near the edge of a building, and I freak. I can't get near the sides. I get this crazy feeling in my stomach. I start getting dizzy. I have to back away, and not for me.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not afraid of heights, but I probably should be at this stage in the game.
Yeah. But how's the weather down there?
Great. We've had great weather. The sun was out all day today, and yesterday I got a lot of sun. I mean, you can see I got a
Yeah.
little burn just
Yeah.
hanging out at the pool.
Yeah. We've had a lot of rain here the last couple of days. Matter of fact, the moat's full. The river is just the river's the highest I've seen it in a long time. Um, I
Oh,
rode up there today and rode around a little bit, and it's all kinds of big trees coming down the river, all kinds of crazy crap. But
oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's really bad. Well, one thing I did notice today, I went up to Tape Gate, which is well, you know because you've been here, and they've got food trucks set up by the army, and they had like 4 or 5 big food trucks set up serving food, and the lines and the traffic to get the food, unbelievable. I mean, it just
Which one was that? Which one? Which did I go there with you, or which one was
yeah,
that?
we rode by at Tape Gate, the gate right at the edge of the moat,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think it has something to do with the Queen's birthday, and
Oh okay.
you
Flipping this
know,
around because you're on that side on the thing, so now I can just look at you, and I'm looking at the camera.
oh, we got our first question. I assume you guys stay in places where your ladies come from. No, I don't know about you. I don't. I'm about probably 600 kilometers from our parents. My wife
Oh
grew up in Pathum Thani, right outside of Bangkok.
yeah, me too. And Sophia, she's from Bangkok, and she doesn't really want any part of the big city. We like it over here by the water, and she lived a little bit in Rayong, so it's not too far from there, and it's just a good location.
Yeah. No, I don't. I like to go to Bangkok, but I wouldn't want to live there. It's a nice place to visit, but nowhere that I want to stay.
If I
Do
could
I miss
spend
it?
like 3 days a month there, that'd be pretty cool. I think.
Yeah. Well, I when she goes to see her parents, sometimes I'll go down and stay in Bangkok for 4 or 5 days, and by about the third or fourth day, I'm ready to come back. But now, when I first moved here, or when I first started coming here, I loved it there. I just we'd spend a week in Bangkok and go around to all the restaurants and the different sites and stuff. But after I've lived here, I don't think I would enjoy living down there. Now Charlie loves it, but I like a
Yeah,
little bit of the country. Do
I
I
like
miss the
going to
week?
Bangkok.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of different restaurants to eat at, and I always walk through Nana Plaza and make that stroll and walk up
That
Soil.
stuff, but I've just barely scratched the surface of Bangkok. I mean, there's just so much more to the city. There's probably so many different like neighborhoods and little. Every time I go there and discover something new, and it's just such a huge
Yeah,
place that, especially like you go on the other side of the Chao Phraya, what is it, Chao Phraya
yeah,
River or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
on the other side, I mean, that's a whole other side of the city
Oh, I
that
know,
I've
I know.
barely even gotten to. I know I could really. I stayed there for a week one time in Ari, and that was a whole different area than I had usually stayed in, and I loved that area. So I can't imagine why, if I just randomly stayed in a different neighborhood in Bangkok, why I wouldn't love
Yeah.
it too. Just just discovering the different things there. But
I like to stay down by the river in between Chinatown and the river. And there's a lot of neat
yeah,
places to walk around down there and a lot of things to see. But and the hotels are reasonable. They're not crazy. Uh, we went across to that Icon Plaza one time, and that mall is just amazing, absolutely amazing. And then
yeah.
in that area, you've got two or three temples that you can go to.
Yeah,
So,
that Icon CM, they keep talking about that they're building one down here, like very close to where I live in the Najom Tien area, right
yeah,
next to the marina, and they put the like the metal facade fencing on Sukhumvit Road, like where it's a construction project back there, but then
yeah.
I think because of the situation, they just never really got started on it. But hopefully, once all the road construction's done over here, they'll get back and start working on that. But I'm sure it's years away.
Yeah. Somebody says, "Do we miss America?" I don't really miss it. Do you agree?
No, I mean, I went home in October, and literally, I went home for 5 weeks. And after 2 weeks, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
so ready to come back. Let me get this
I
stupid
I
stuff."
went back in 2014 and I stayed for 2 weeks, and the first 3 days were really hard. Uh, I wanted to come home, but after about 5 days, I kind of settled in. But I was still glad to get back here. It was an odd feeling going back. I mean, everything was different. Everything was more expensive. Uh, I'm acclimated here where I'm not. I wasn't acclimated there, and I felt like a fish out of water. I was glad to
Yeah,
get home.
just after being in Thailand a straight year, it seemed like I felt anxiety when I went back there. Like just going to the drugstore and waiting in like certain lines, like just whole customer service situation. And this was only last November, and it just was terrible. I don't know. I just hated it. I was ready to come back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, that's okay, Pat. We'll get you on the next one. And I'll see you whenever you get up here. Good evening. I will go into stream video in Chiang Mai next month with a couple of videos. So yeah, we'll hook up for sure. Bangkok is too much like hard work. I guess it would be for some. I don't know. My wife hated it. She worked at the mall, and she would leave for work at 8 o'clock in the morning, go to the mall, and she'd get off at 10 o'clock at night. And then sometimes she said it'd be 3 or 4 hours before she could get home, with the traffic and stuff, and it was really bad.
It'd be real hard to drive a motorbike there or a car. I mean, just the
Oh, I
traffic is
couldn't. No.
crazy. You take a taxi and it could take you 45 minutes to go 2 hours. If you just live on the SkyTrain or the subway and hit it at the right times. But if you're working there and you have to fight rush hour and when the mass transit is busy, I mean, that's just not wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, she told me about times when it would flood, and she'd have to go through floods to get to work. She'd have to take her shoes off and carry her shoes up here, walk through the flood waters, and then get there and wash her feet off and go back to work. And I just I couldn't imagine living like that. You know,
it's gross. I
she
mean, as recently we had a lot of flooding here. A couple different storms, but
we haven't where I live. We haven't had flooding. Now we've had flooding up in the city, and we've had flooding in some of the cities south of where I live. But right here where I live, no. Fortunately, where they built the Mubon, they've got good drainage system in here. But now you go, 100 meters south of me into the city where the city owns. They've got you know, when it rains, sometimes they've got 6, 8 inches of water in front of that. I went by the other day and they've got sandbags stacked up in front of each house. So when it rains, they'll put the sandbags, you know, at their gate so the water doesn't get in. And I did a video about 2 years ago of that same area. I didn't even know it. I left my house on my bicycle, and that's kind of the route I went. And when I got to that area, I mean, there's just total water, and it just happened to have my video camera with me that day, and I videoed going through the water, and then I came back to the house and got the drone and flew over it. But it was really really bad. Um, and you know the thing about that is when you buy a house, you don't, you know, unless you do some checking, you don't know that. You know, you don't know that it's a flood area, and that's one of the things
Yeah.
I'll be thankful for that Lex checked when we both houses that we bought. She checked the flood levels, and we went around and looked in the neighborhood. And usually, when you get into a neighborhood that floods, there'll be either fresh paint along the bottom of the house, or there'll be a line where the water is. And we were lucky to get an area that wasn't. So
You
you
know, I
never.
moved out of that condo in Pattaya, the Grand Avenue, and literally we moved out. I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks before the whole basement flooded. That's when that Lucas Radford Kicks, his motorcycle was under the water and everything. And I know I had made some videos and at some other condos in that area. And the first thing I ask people when I'm doing like a little video tour is, you know, does it flood here? You know, that's just I knew when I was looking around when I bought my condo, it's like way up on a hill, so it's like,
Yeah,
you know, there's just no way that it could flood. I
yeah,
felt
yeah. You really have to watch
so
out for
far
that.
so good. Oh
Is
yeah.
there an expats association? There's a thing called the Chiang Mai Expats Club, and matter of fact, a couple of the subscribers have asked me to go to the meetings. You know, they've been here since I've been here, and I've never been, but they do have a club that I think they meet once a month or something like that at one of the restaurants. They used to meet at the riverfront that closed down. So I don't know where they're meeting now, but they do have a group. I'm not sure what they do. Like I said, I've never been to any of the meetings. Um, you know, I guess my expat club is the few friends that I have around, and that's about it. Let's see. I'm a city slicker, and if I lived in Thailand, you won't have any problem living by a mall in Chiang
In
Mai.
Asia.
Gosh, we've got one, two, three. We've got about 5 malls here. Two of them have just closed down. But that's one of the things here. There's a lot of malls. Like there's a lot of malls down where you are in there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm about 25 minutes from the two big ones. I mean, Central Festival and Terminal 21, and they have plans to build two more Central and the Icon Siam out, you know, down towards Bang Saray where I am, where those would be walking distance. But you know, who knows when they're ever going to get that done. But
Yeah,
I don't mind. You know, it gives me a reason to go drive down to, you know, eat lunch in Pattaya and go to the mall or whatever.
yeah. Well, usually on the weekends, and I've noticed it here that on the weekends the malls are packed. People, especially in hot weather, because everybody goes to the mall because they're air conditioned, and
Yeah.
you know that's where you get your sights. There's usually a lot of people in there. I was using
Malls are
motorcycle.
a big thing in Southeast Asia. I was, you know, just in the Philippines. It was, I mean, they're just mall crazy there too. I think just,
Yeah.
yeah, the heat, the humidity, the rain.
Now, what did you notice when you were in the Philippines? What did you notice? You told me that you didn't really care for it. What was it that you didn't like?
Um, you know, I mean, I think I had COVID, but both my tests were negative. But I'm just reading like the CDC, they just came out with something saying all these antigen tests that you take at home are very unreliable and you're going to get false negatives. So I felt like I had some of those symptoms or just upper respiratory, but whatever it was, it knocked me on my ass. I also had food poisoning. So I could have, I think if I would have been able to get out and do more things, I would have had fun. But
Yeah,
it just was, the infrastructure is not as good. I mean, we had a lot of problems with internet at the hotels, and we stayed at the one hotel where me and my buddy Chris both had food poisoning. So we were pretty much this was in El Nido, and we were pretty much in the room the whole time. This hotel didn't even have Wi-Fi in the rooms. They're like, well, if you need Wi-Fi, you can come down to the lobby. And I mean, they advertised that they had it, but just it's hard to explain. It just wasn't kept up like Thailand is. It
Yeah.
wasn't, just the different neighborhoods. I mean, there's some nice parts in Manila, fancy, nice parts, but just generally, if you go to an island here or you go to some of these islands there, it's just more graffiti, more of the pressure from. And I have a friend that used to go to the Philippines a lot, and he's there right now. And he told me, he said he thinks that the people there just got hit even harder than Thailand. I mean, and they're just really aggressive right now. The people asking for
Mhm.
either trying to sell you something or asking for money or whatever. A lot of kids coming up with their hand out and just
Yeah.
things like I've never experienced that in Thailand. It's more like things that I experienced going to the Caribbean where people are constantly trying to sell you things or hassle you. And that's why I mean I live so close to the islands in the Caribbean, 2-3 hour flight from where I live in America. But
Yeah.
that's why I like coming here because you just don't have that vibe at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that when I was in the Bahamas. I noticed that a lot. Kids coming
Yeah.
up and begging, and even grown-ups coming up and begging. Um, it's
Yeah, I've
just
never seen. I mean, I'm sure it happens here, but I've never encountered it
yeah. I
personally.
I don't see it so much here in Chiang Mai, but I do see it a lot in Bangkok. Along
Mhm.
Sukhumvit Road, there are a lot of beggars there,
Well,
but
I think it's a lot the people using their little kids there.
mhm.
In the Philippines, these little kids were just running around unsupervised, just like 5, 6, 7 year olds. Usually when I see them in Bangkok, it's like the parent with them trying
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
or if it's even really the parent, if it's just somebody using this
Yeah.
kid,
It's
a
got the kid.
relative's kid, or something to try to. Yeah, you see that there, but it just was pretty rampant in the
Yeah.
Philippines.
That's pretty
I
bad.
just, my prerogative. I'm not into that type of vibe. I like to be
Yeah.
left alone.
Well, I think about it. We've got it made here. I tell people, I said, I can't think of a place that I'd rather be other than Thailand. I just, I'm sure there maybe are better places, but all my needs are fulfilled here. I don't have a longing to, I want to go visit places, but for
Hmm.
me, this is always going to be home from now on. I don't,
I'm heading in the morning to Vietnam, so
yeah,
next week on the show I'll be able to tell you what my experience was in Da Nang. It's only 4 days, and I mean we're
yeah.
going to be pretty busy. It's pretty booked up with specific things that Phi researched. So
Now,
we'll see
Danang's a
how it
nice
goes.
city. You'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
Where do you know where you're staying? You staying close
Um,
to the river?
yeah, actually, the Hotel Hanan or something like that, where we actually have a view of the Dragon Bridge
Okay,
on the
great.
river. We're right on the. I took your advice. I didn't book it on the beach. There was a lot of like 5-star nice hotels, but this
Yeah.
one, I'll tell you the name of it right now, and it had like 4.5 or 5 stars on a Goda. Let me just punch it up here. I'll tell you the name. It looked pretty nice, and yeah, I upgraded just a little bit to get that window view of the river.
Mhm.
Um, so the first 2 nights we're staying at the Macur, Da Nang French Village, Bana Hills. So we're going
Yeah,
up. I think is that where that hand
yeah,
bridge
yeah,
is or whatever. And
yeah.
so that's she picked all that out. That's her thing. And then we're saying at the Haiyan Haian Riverfront. I don't know,
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah. You're on the beach side, right?
No, on the Riverside, the other
On the
side of the
riverside.
river.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
have the river, and then you have the land, and then you have the beach. There's like two sides to the river. I think I remember seeing that hotel, and you're if you've got a view of the dragon and the Dragon Bridge, you're probably staying right around the same place that we did, and we loved it.
Mm.
I mean, it's really a nice area, and I told you to walk in behind the hotel. You'll be amazed at what you'll see back there, and the people are super friendly. You'll have a hard time getting out of there without sitting down and have a drink with somebody. But
Oh, that's
it,
cool.
it was really good. They're really nice people.
We may
I
go to that Hoi An one of the nights. Just take the cab over there and
Hoi
just to
An
look
is
around for
is
like
nice
a
too.
couple
Yeah,
hours. Yeah.
yeah. It's just a short ride. It's only maybe 30-40 minute drive from Da Nang to Hoi An. But yeah, if you can see that, that's really good. It says I always use a motorbike taxi in BKK. Great city though. Yeah, I've done that a couple times and I wasn't real happy about it. But now that's how Leck used to get back and forth when traffic was real bad. She'd ride a motorcycle taxi. Have you been to the Isan barbecue at Loy Crow Road and Campang Din Road? No, I haven't. I don't remember seeing it unless it's probably it's probably on Campang Din Road, maybe down on the left. No, I haven't been there yet. Matter of fact, I'm thinking we went by it the other day and Lex said it was full of people, but I haven't tried that yet. You get food? I haven't got food poisoning from KFC, but I got sick and I know what it was from. The grease was bad. And about 2 hours later, I was dying. I refuse to eat at KFC anymore. I won't do it. It's such an awful feeling that it's not worth the chicken. Hey,
The Thai people, like Fi, she loves that fried chicken, but we actually have a Texas chicken and Kentucky fried, not too far that she can get the line man delivered, and she would mostly go with the Texas chicken. But recently they opened a little, like a young girl. She looks like she's about 18 or 19. Opened a little stand right in the little village we live by, and she is just killing it. And I see her with the fresh
yeah,
oil.
yeah.
That's what I look for
You
is
gotta look for
something.
fresh oil.
Yeah, yeah, and I've had it 3 or 4 times already. Just a piece as a snack or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
it's really good. It's like a franchise, I guess.
Hey, Jay, I just want to let you know, thank you for the tea. I'm drinking it right now. Jay came and visited he lives in Japan. Him and his girlfriend came down and we met him for lunch. Great people. And I think you had a good time here from everything that you said. I'm glad you did. And you got back safely without a visa problem. I heard the people in Vietnam are aggressive. No, I didn't. Not at all. They were very, very friendly people. Um, very accommodating, smiling. I didn't see any type of aggressive activity at all. And I've been to the South Vietnam. I've been to North Vietnam. In Hanoi, the people were really, really nice. And I expected a little bit of it there, but it wasn't. It was nothing. I walked from our hotel in the French Quarter all the way down to the lake where McCain crashed his plane. I wanted to see that, and I walked through some pretty dingy neighborhoods, and everybody was friendly and just really really nice. Now, the only time I had a problem is I was taking pictures and there was a military installation across from me, and one of the guards yelled, "Don't take any pictures." But that was the only thing. Other than that, they're real friendly, just nice people. I was really amazed, and that was probably my. I've been there probably about 5 times now. I'd love to go to Soon Dong Cave, but you have to book. Huh? I've never heard of that. It's opposite. Okay, now I'll have to check that out. Let's see what else we get. That's Leck. The KFC will sue you. I'm sorry, but it's true. I got sick. Oh,
Well, it wasn't that guy's franchise; it was the other one.
yeah, yeah. I don't know who it was,
Right.
but yeah, it was. I'll tell you, I came home and within 2 hours I was dying. I mean, I was just, oh, it was horrible. And
It can
but
happen anywhere. I mean, in America, I've got food poisoning from a Whopper at Burger. I think it was the lettuce on there. So it can just happen anywhere.
yeah. Well, anytime you eat somewhere here, you got to look at the grease. If it looks dirty, don't eat the food because about 3 or 4 hours later, it just like it eats your insides out, and all you can think about is just when is this going to be over? I mean, I was in so bad shape, I was sweating. I said, I'm not
Wow.
going to do this no more.
Yeah, that's how I felt in that's how I was in the Philippines when I had that food poisoning.
Oh, it's a horrible feeling. I had
Oh,
two friends come in from the United States, and they stopped in China before they got here, and they spent about 7 days in China. And when they got here, they were the sickest people that I had ever seen. They had been eating fish, and he said they just scooped the fish out of the water right next to wherever they were cooking it. And I'd take him to the doctor. He had to go. Him and his both of him and his wife had to go to the doctor. They had it for about 7 days. It was just
well,
horrible.
there's I got sick one time in Japan, eating that fresh sushi. That's like I was at the seafood market, and I mean that was probably the freshest fish I ever had. But like in America, or probably here in Thailand, like a lot of this fish you get, especially sushi, where it's raw, has been flash frozen. So different bacteria or different, microorganisms that are in the fish or on the fish or whatever get killed off when they're flash frozen. But that's what I was told why maybe I got sick from that fish in Japan, because it had never been frozen. It just was straight out of the water, and they're used to it. I wasn't. Probably the same thing with your friends in China.
Is it this time of the digital nomads returning to Chiang Mai? I really don't know, to be honest with you. I know we've got a lot of YouTubers up here. I see them walking around making videos, and, but as far
I
as
think the digital nomad thing may not be as much of a thing anymore. I mean, there's just so many, like the word's out. There's so many people that have tried to sell things on Amazon, do all these different things that they do. It's like, you know, it might not be as much of a thing anymore. Maybe.
oh, okay, I've not heard of that. I'll have to look it up. That may be the
What
one that
area is
Patty
it?
Patty Doyle went to.
Oh, maybe.
I've, other than the couple times when I ate something I shouldn't have, I've never been sick off street food ever. And I've been eating it for 12 years now. I eat street food just about every day in one form or another, and I've never been sick eating off the street. But I'm also careful where I go to. If it doesn't look clean, I don't go there.
One time I think I got it from one of those fruit carts. So it's
Yeah,
like a street food, but it's the fruit cart, and they're chopping everything up all day. Same knife and everything, and you can get bacteria on the outside of the fruit as they're cutting it on the inside. And Fi and I both got sick from that, and I'm like, so now anytime I get any fruit anywhere, I don't eat it like that. I bring it home and wash it before I eat it, make sure it's good. And same type of thing with vegetables too, but I do like a salad sometimes.
I lost you there, Greenie. Okay, I got you back.
Oh,
Oh, back about 4 or 5 years ago, somebody was mentioning the barbecues. About 4 or 5 years ago, we had somebody die from food poisoning. What they were doing, they were using their utensils to take the meat and put it on the grill, and then they were using the same
mm,
utensils for eating it, and they actually died from it. This was probably
wow.
about 5 years ago. Tell me three things that Thailand better than U.S. She's setting me up. That's my wife right there. She's asking me these questions. You tell me, okay? You live there. You should know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me in particular, being from Michigan, I just love the sunshine. And even though like this is the low season, the rainy season, I mean, in Michigan in the summer, you could be rainy and cloudy and not see the sun a lot of days. Like I just get a lot of vitamin D here. Maybe it helps your outlook on life, helps you. My stress level is way lower. I, took a blood pressure pill. Now I'm taking half the pill. And, just you can eat healthy food, you can cook for yourself, all that type of stuff in America. But if you're a lazy ass like me, and if I'm going to be a lazy ass in America, I'm going to eat a lot of crappy food
Yeah.
here. Like you saw that picture when I had for dinner, morning
Yeah.
glory, some garlic pork. I'll either have that or I'll some. A lot of times, just chicken and vegetables, or they grill those chickens right across the street. There's about 6 different stands right in walking distance of my house where they're grilling a whole chicken outside. It's just
Wow.
not, you're not dealing with the processed foods, not in your face all the time like it is there.
Yeah.
So it's a healthier lifestyle to me.
Yeah. Well, it is for me as well. we both come from the same work background, and we'd slide in McDonald's or slide in Burger King,
Oh,
and that's what our dinner would be. And I did that for a good many years, and I gained a lot of weight. I mean, I was really heavy. But coming here, you have a lot of food options. You have a lot of different food options, and a lot of it's real good for you. Some of it's not, but the most part of it's really good. I enjoy that part too. And you talk about coming here, and to me, it was like a lot of the world was lifted off my shoulders when I got here. The stress of everyday life, the stress of working, the stress of having to pay a mortgage payment, and worrying about this, worrying about that. It all just kind of went away, and it hadn't come back in
right.
12 years. So
For us, it's
that's
like one big long vacation. That's what's,
yeah,
it's just, when you retire and you're on a pension, you work for the government a certain amount of years, and then you get that pension, and it's like, you're just free, especially when you work for the government and there's constantly, a chain of command or different things. And then, outside sources you have to deal with. So then now when you get done dealing with the public like that and dealing with internal, external
uh,
pressures and just being on permanent vacation, it's a great thing.
in our line of work, it was change was every day. That you'd come in one day and you have one thing that was a certain way, and the next day you'd come in and everything had changed. And that was one thing in
Hmm.
law enforcement that really it was hard to deal with it, but you had to, if you wanted to keep the job, you had to do it. And I think it's a lot
Right.
worse
Yeah.
now. A lot
Oh
worse
yeah,
now.
there's with the cameras and everything. Every day there's some new rule that they want to implement. When I just my last job that I had before I worked here was at the federal court. So it's federal, and they like to change it, make a new rule every day.
Yeah.
So you're constantly getting thrown. The good thing when the best part that I ever enjoyed in law enforcement was when my first few years when I was just a patrolman responsible for myself on the road. So it was something different every day. It was
Yeah.
exciting. It was new. But then once you get into administration or, the federal level, it's just a lot more
Yeah.
monotonous.
Well, when I was I went in 2006. I went from administrative detective to a road officer, and it was like, I thought it was going to be terrible. And about the first month, it was a culture shock for me. But after I enjoyed the freedom of getting out in the car and getting to meet people and do things. And
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, when you start raising in rank and getting a little bit more responsibility, the stress goes up and up and up and up and up.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, and a lot of times you don't realize it until you get away from
Trust me, I could write a book on that.
it. Yeah, I would too. Krispy Kreme donuts, yeah. That's something that every
They
time
have
I
them
go,
here. I mean, you can get that here.
I go through the airport there. We always have a debate whether we're going to stop and get a batch or not. It's funny where I lived in Tennessee. They had one, and they'd have that little light on when the donuts were fresh, and everybody run in and grab a half a dozen donuts. Saw a bunch of pilots and flight attendants in Bangkok airport all buying a couple noodles for the flight. Does that say something about the food? Yeah, I guess it does. Uh, but yeah, I thought it was real interesting. Your last video, you talked about getting screwed by the airlines, and that's just amazing. They did it to me too. When we were in
Oh yeah.
Vietnam, we had 6 cities that we were going to, and our last flight was out of one city in the south. I forgot what city it was, and we had Air Asia from that city to Bangkok. And about 5 days before we were supposed to come back, we got a message that they'd shut it down. And this is long before COVID hit. And what we basically had to do, we had to drop the last city, and we ended up flying out of Da Nang, I believe, to get back to Bangkok. But I had a hell
Mhm.
of a time getting my money back from them. I had to fight with them. Um, you try to talk to that thing that they have there on the, they're on their website. They've got that computerized response thing, and it's pitiful. I finally got satisfaction by going on Twitter and got a live person and just kept blasting them until I got my money back. But I
Yeah,
still managed to lose when Nook Scoot went out of business. We had two tickets to round trip tickets to Japan that we had already paid for, and I only got half of that back. But that's I guess that's part of doing business.
the other issue, if you paid in advance for your hotel rooms and then you cancel that last city,
Yeah,
then
yeah, we lost our
that's
hotel.
another
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, we just lost it, and we didn't get reimbursed for our flight either. Have you met any expats in the north who are involved in bike packing, camping? I haven't. I know there's some up here, but I haven't met any. No, no. They have a group here called the Gravel Bunch, and they go out and do a lot of off-road biking, cycling. But I don't know if they do any camping or not. Who's got the best coffee? Oh, that's a loaded question. I don't
What
know.
kind of coffee?
I'm still trying different coffee shops, so I really couldn't tell you. The coffee that I buy comes just from 3 or 4 blocks from the house. It's a place called Alti Coffee, and I found their coffee very good. They roast it right there on site, and I go down and buy 2 kilos, and that lasts me about 2 weeks. But the coffee here in Chiang Mai is just amazing. You know, I have I think we have as many coffee shops as we do temples. Leaving Saigon for Bangkok tomorrow, and my visa should be in Chiang Mai in a week. Well, great. You'll enjoy it here. It's nice, and I've been to Saigon once, and that was the first place we went to in Vietnam. We went over and actually stayed a week. We stayed in District One, and it was nice. We did the water puppets tour, and then we took another bus up to see the tunnels and took a river cruise. It was interesting. There's a lot of traffic in Saigon though, and getting across the street is just unbelievable. And the only way when you and Greeny, you'll notice this when you get there. When you cross the street, try to stand next to a Vietnamese person, and when they go, you go with them because they just walk right out in traffic. The motorcycles just, but don't stop. Don't look and don't
Yeah.
stop. Just look straight ahead and just keep on walking. I have never seen traffic like I saw in Saigon. Even Hanoi was not as bad, but it
Yeah, I heard
it
that.
was a nice place. I enjoyed it. New cameras
Yep.
seem. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that was my plan to go to Saigon, but I got vetoed.
New cameras seem expensive in Thailand. Have you bought a new camera here? Um, I've bought a couple cameras, and I most of them I buy used, so I really don't know as far as the prices are concerned. But I don't know
This one
what they
I'm
are
using
in the U.S. I don't know.
is about the same. I just bought this Sony ZV-E10, and actually they didn't have it in Thailand. I had to buy it in the Philippines, and now that I'm back home, I had just went in the camera store the other day, big camera, and they have it there. And if you do the math, it's about the same in all the places. This one
Yeah,
in particular, but
yeah,
that's because maybe it's manufactured in Thailand.
yeah,
Actually, I bought in the Philippines. It says made in Thailand. Now, if you buy, I don't know, some company that's manufactured in America, then you're probably going to pay more because it's going to be like a 30% import tax on it.
yeah, yeah. Um, in mentioning that, i- buying here, buying something that's made outside the country, you're going to pay 2 and 3 times the actual cost. You know, it's just it's there's so much tax on anything imported here. It doesn't pay to try to if you're going to buy it outside the country, best thing to do is buy it there and bring it back in your suitcase or something like that. Otherwise, you get
Hmm.
if you buy it through the mail, um, you got about a 50-50 chance of getting it through. But if it's sent to you DHL, FedEx, or any of the big shipping companies, you're gonna get hit before it gets here. Uh, so you're going to pay high dollar for it. So actually, it's cheaper for you to buy it here than it is to buy it outside the country. Yeah, traffic is
You know
nuts.
how like in America they were doing the whole like America first, and they want to stop relying on importing things and just manufacture things in America, and not patriotism, but nationalism, that type of thing. That's very much how it is in Thailand. It doesn't seem like it is, but I have this attorney that I deal with here, and he was telling me that like vaping is illegal here.
Yeah,
Well, he's like, the reason why it hasn't been legalized yet is because all that juice, all that vape stuff is manufactured in China. Nobody manufactures it here. But you see how quick they legalized marijuana. How come marijuana they legalize that but not vape? It's because that's all manufactured here. They can
yeah,
grow it here. And Thailand really likes to support, things being made here. And if it's not, like you said, it's going to be a huge tax hit,
yeah.
especially cars, things like that. Try to buy a Mustang here and see how much it'll cost you.
I've seen a few Mustangs here, and I don't know if they've been imported or not, but they had to pay dearly for them.
They're like 3-4 million baht, which is like, you're going to pay like 100,000 US dollars for
Yeah.
a Mustang here.
Well, after I got here, I priced a Harley like I had at home, and it was almost 2 million baht. And I thought, golly, bub, I mean, I think I paid 24,000 for my bike, and you try to buy the same thing here, and it almost costs you almost 3 times the amount.
Mm-hmm.
I
Besides it being a Harley, it's like a luxury, like a
yeah,
Mustang's like, wow, that's
yeah,
like, a fancy exotic thing here,
yeah. I have heard of people trying to get their bikes in and just have horror stories trying to get them through customs. They end up forfeiting the bike because they can't afford to pay for it.
Wow.
And just crazy stuff like that. Let's see what this one says. HMC is what the government calls it. Everyone calls it Saigon. Yeah,
Ho Chi Minh City.
yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Prime time, coast to coast. Sorry, Yvette. Yeah. Local say Saigon for one district. People outside the city call it Saigon. I really didn't notice, to be honest with you, but that's probably correct. When I moved there, I want a Jeep Wrangler, but the prices are high. Yeah, you're going to pay dearly for anything like that.
That's
I have
crazy.
seen a few of them here, though. You might be able to find one that's
A 1972 model.
yeah. There's a couple on Lake Row Road that I see. They're old military Jeeps that they've converted, and they're high dollar price on them. Range Rovers here, astronomical prices on them. Let's see what that one. There's an opportunity. No, that's funny. The day that I vaped for a while, when it started becoming popular here, I threw down the cigarettes and I found a place up by the train station that sold, the cigarette or the whatever it is you call it that you use to smoke it in the
E-cig
vape.
or whatever.
Yeah. And I went up and bought one, and I'd go back to him to buy my liquid. And I go up there one day, and the place is just empty. I mean, just completely empty. And what they had done is they'd outlawed it, and this guy taking his stuff, and he'd got out of Dodge real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really answer that. Maybe Greenie can, because I don't drink. I didn't drink in the States.
I mean, I don't drink that much, but I mean, I do. If I'm going to go out, I'll have a couple beers. Or actually, yeah, it's just I do when I'm in America. I will drink more like a vodka and tonic type of thing, or vodka soda water. Here, I'll usually just drink a beer because I don't know what it is, but I just worry that maybe they just water down the alcohol, or I don't. Beer, you're getting a fresh beer, and you know what you're getting. There's a lot of bars here, and you just never know who's doing what with the liquor in any type of country that's really not Canada or America, or maybe England. Any of these different, Mexico and and Dominican Republic, they were having problems with counterfeit liquor and people getting sick. And any of these countries where it's not regulated, you got to be kind of careful with the hard liquor.
Yeah. Do you down there in Pattaya? Do you have bamboo bars set up on the sides of the road where they sell the 10 baht whiskey?
I think. Oh, you know what? I see those in Bangkok. No, we don't really. I haven't really seen those around
Yeah.
here. I mean, you do have the vans, the converted VW
Yeah.
vans that call
Yeah.
them the
Yeah.
cocktail cars.
Yeah.
That's what they have. But like in Bangkok, right on the street at Soi 22, right down the street from where the Holiday Inn is, because I always stay at the Holiday Inn,
Mm.
and there's a lady. Yeah, she's got her little stand, and just people are coming by and
Yeah.
just getting shots from her. Yep, yep. I
We
haven't
we
seen that here though.
up here in the lower section of Chiang Mai, we've got them everywhere. On the side
Wow.
streets and stuff. And people in the afternoons, they'll roll their little bamboo bar up, set it up by the street,
Mhm.
put 4 or 5 stools out, and they'll sell 10 baht whiskey. And places are usually packed by 6, 7 o'clock. And they did
Right.
that when it was outlawed too. There's a used camera store in Chiang Mai near Central Festival. It's called Red Camera. There's a lot of good reviews. Maybe you can check it out if you happen to be in that. Yeah, I'll check them out. The place that I generally go is a place called Photobug, and I get stuff there sometimes, not very often. I'm pretty much set as far as camera equipment is concerned now. I've got everything that I need, so I really haven't been looking for anything. And a lot of times, I'll get it on the internet. Whatever I want to buy, I'll get it, and I'll make sure. Usually, if something comes from China, we usually don't get hit on a tariff or something like that. It gets in, or I'll buy it out of Bangkok. Yeah. Now the license bureaus now here in Thailand will issue you an international license. You take your driver's license to them, and I don't know what they charge for it, but they'll type you up an international permit. Um, if you have one
I
from
think you have to
outside,
have your.
hmm?
I think I was told you have to have your regular license. So the first 2 years of having your license, that's what they call like a temporary license. I had heard that they make you after the second year. That's when you can get an international license here. But if you're coming from another country and you want to get a license here, it makes the process easier if you had already obtained an international license in your home country.
Yeah, yeah. If you're coming here to live for any length of time, the best thing to do is go to the license bureau and just bring your regular license from your country, and you'll walk out with a driver's license. I did it last week, and I think it cost well, I think it's 500 baht, and it took Lek and I about a half hour to get our license. That's the easiest way to do it. But they will at the driver's license bureau, if you take your regular license, they will give you an international driver's license. And basically, what it is, it's just a translation in Thai of what your driver's license is. Theoretically, you shouldn't need one, but up here they require it. If you get stopped in the city or something like that and you don't have one, I think it's a 200 baht fine or a 500 baht fine or something like that. But technically, Thailand has treaties with most countries that the driver's licenses should be reciprocal, but they're not um, for
Yeah, I
some
think down
reason.
here they want you to have that international license. They'll hit you
Yeah,
hard in Pattaya.
yeah. Do they write a lot of tickets for that? Do you see they have a lot of checkpoints and stuff?
Yeah, I mean they're not doing random patrol, but if they have a checkpoint, yeah, I mean I've heard of people getting the tickets if they don't
Yeah.
have the right kind of
In in
license.
your in your years of living here, have you ever seen a traffic stop?
Um, Not really. I don't know. I might have. It could have been an accident. I don't
Mm,
know. I
yeah.
don't really. But
I,
usually
I
it's
have
just the checkpoints.
in the 12 years that I've lived here, I've never seen what we know in law enforcement is a traffic stop. Never seen it happen. Never.
Man.
They're always standing on the side of the road waving their arms, to pull over. It was funny. They
Hmm.
usually have one in front of the Hangdong police station, and it's so funny. It's on the main road in front of the police station, and Lek and I generally in the mornings, most times we'll eat at the police station. We'll ride the motorbike up. Now, if we ride in the back, we can ride by all the cops. They won't bother us for no helmet. But if we came out on the street while they're standing out there, they'll stop you and write you a ticket. It's really funny. I've been caught twice, and I just both times I was coming back from paying the electric bill, and I had gone a different way, and I didn't see them, and I just came around the corner, and there they were standing there, and I just pulled over, walked across the street, paid 200 baht, and didn't worry about it. But after they fold up their put up their cones, and they go back into wherever they go or whatever they do, you can ride right by the police station with no helmet. There'll be a cop standing out there. They'll just wave you on. They don't bother you. But if they're doing their checkpoint with their ticket books, you're going to get a ticket. It's really amazing. And it's the same way, up in the city. You can be riding a motorcycle and have two cops beside you riding a motorcycle, not have the helmet on. They won't bother you. But if they've got a checkpoint going, they're going to stop you and give you a ticket. It's really crazy. Never seen anything like it. They've got a different philosophy of policing here than what we're used to. It's more of a reaction to a crime rather than there's no proactive.
It's like anything here. It's all like that here. Like they just had the big fire down here at the nightclub, and now they're checking all the nightclubs to make sure something happens and causes a chain reaction to do enforcement or check on that. And then, 2 months later, it'll be something else and they'll forget about that. And, it's not really, there's no risk management here, that type of thing. I mean, I'm sure with building codes and things like that there are, but just general things, a lot of it's reactionary.
It's crazy too. It's funny when I'm coming down the road today, coming to the house, and they've got these guys going up on the telephone poles, checking the wires, and they've just got their ladder right out in the middle of the street. I mean, no cones, nobody out there directing traffic, and nothing. It's something else that just happened, and the last video I did, I talked about it on Woolai Road where they have the Saturday night walking street. It's a busy road. A man and a lady were on a motorbike coming through at night, and one of the power wires had come across the road and caught them both right in the neck, and took them off the bikes. I mean, they're all bandaged up. I think he hurt his arm or something. And now they're going to go through and they're going to change the wire. So, that's a problem that we've had here for a long time.
There was a guy decapitated recently on his motorbike from a cable TV wire or internet wire. And actually, it's funny. We were just driving from Sukhumvit onto our street, and there was two wires hanging. I'm like, we had to drive around two wires just hanging down the pole. And last night I saw a guy right on Sukhumvit Road. It's dark out, and he's up on a ladder, and there's like 1,000 wires all like this, and he's up there with his flashlight. I go, how is he going to figure out what the hell wire he's supposed to do? And he did have I saw his pickup truck there, and there was like one cone sitting there, but it was dark, and I don't even know how you could figure out what he's doing. It
amazes me how they can figure out what goes where. There's so many wires spread out. And my wife was saying the other day, she goes, we don't have that many cable companies. We don't have that many telephone companies. What could all those wires be? And I don't have a clue. I mean, we're not talking about 5 or 10. We're talking about maybe 100 or 200 wires strung. And they're not the power lines because the power lines are up top. So I don't know.
I think there's just no fiber optics. They're starting to do more, but if you figure where a wire should be, like a pin size, but they're much bigger. It's so you just got so many wires going to each house and each business, and it's like everybody's got their own separate wire coming off these poles. It's crazy.
Do you visit any coffee shops up at the foot of the mountain in Chiang Mai? I've been to a few of them. There's just so many of them that there's no way to hit them all. The ones that I like are the ones that are up in the mountains, where they actually brew they pick the coffee and they roast it right there. And there are a couple of those up on DOI Pui that are really, really good.
Is it Pui? Elephant Pui?
Yeah, it's Doi Satet, but they call it DOI Pui when you get up past the temple. I didn't take you guys up there. I wanted to take you up there, but we didn't have time. There was only one exit at the nightclub. That's what they're saying, but now they're trying to say that there were two doors in the back that they also had, and everybody's saying they were locked, but the owner and the manager are saying that they weren't locked. I guess somehow they'll figure it out. I don't know. I mean,
I'm
either way,
sure. I'm sure
as
they had the
long
proper signage and everything for the emergency
yeah,
exit and everything too.
that's really a sad thing. I was just reading about some Vietnamese girl that was caught in the fire and badly, badly burned, and they took her
I
to the
think she just
hospital.
passed away.
Oh no,
Today, a girl that was in there that was 17 passed away. I'm not sure if it was the same girl, but a
yeah,
17-year-old girl that was in there just passed away today.
man,
Made it. She was victim number 17, I think, too.
golly. Well, when back about would have been probably 2006 we came over, and Leck took me to a club somewhere by the river in Bangkok. It was in underneath a hotel, and you walk down a flight of stairs and you go through one door, and then you get inside there. I mean, it's just wall to wall people. And there's no way out other than that one door. And I was thinking then, uh, if there's a fire down here, there's no way we're going to get out. But it's just when you think about that, it's just so pitiful. It's happened in the states a couple times too.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of them things. Not the green wire, not the red wire. Yeah. Nice tips and coffee. Mountains. Yeah. Yeah. There is. If you come here and you want to go, it's really a neat place. You go up past Doisatep, and it's probably about 4 or 5 kilometers past Doisatep, up a very, very narrow road. And when you get to the end of the road, there's a Hmong village up there. And I took Charlie up there. It was really nice. There's a guy there, and there was a picture of this guy's grandfather with the king. And the king actually came up and showed him how to grow coffee. And this guy had a really nice coffee shop and made some great coffee. I'd recommend anybody that comes go up there. You can catch a red truck at the bottom of the mountain that'll take you up there. And I don't think it's that expensive, but it's a really nice Hmong village up there. It's really beautiful up there. It's really nice. Have I tried? Yes, I have tried Nana Bakery. They've got some pretty good stuff. Matter of fact, there's 2 of them here. There's one in Cad Farang, which is about maybe a kilometer or 2 north of me, and then there's also one south of me that on the road that goes to Doi Antonom that we go to, and they have some really good croissants there. And I try to stay away from there because I'm trying to lose weight, but every time we pass, Lex says, "Let's get one. Let's get one." Sure enough, we stop, and I come home with a bag, and I like the ones that have pecans or whatever you call them. And I just, if you bring home a bag of them, they're gone in an hour at least. Do you have Nana Bakery down there in Pattaya?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a big chain. I don't know if they're just up here or whether they're down in Bangkok or not. Uh, I don't know. I have to
We
ask
have
Lex.
Harry Bakery everywhere, which is like a lot of breads and stuff. There's Harry bakeries everywhere.
Yeah, but we've got a lot of private bakeries up here too. A lot of French bakeries. There's one in the moat that I went to the other day, and they had these great big humongous cookies and cinnamon buns, and I wanted to go in and have breakfast, but all they served was desserts and stuff, so I didn't stop at it. God, it looked good. You know, you're never gonna if you come to Thailand, you're never gonna starve in Thailand. That's for sure. You'll find the food that you want to eat, and it's good and it's a lot of fun. It's nice to get out and try different places. Um, that's what I enjoy doing. We eat out a lot.
Yeah.
There's a place down there that I want to go to when I come. It's called Route 66. I think you've ate there a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like they got some really good food.
Yeah. I mean, it's a American diner type of place. It's really cool. Pretty good
Yeah,
food. Yep. I mean, for me, it's like eating at a place in America. but it's really good. They have I think on the last Saturday of the month they have a prime rib special. I
Yeah.
got to get there for that sometime. It's supposed to be really good. Yeah, if yeah, she'll sell a condo. We're not. She's not really gonna do too much renting.
There was a place that I saw that you went to on Koh Chang that had Reuben sandwich. Do you remember what the name of that was?
I don't, but I know what's that
You
one
made a
show.
video on it.
I did, and I know that he said trying to think of that. Oh, that No Time to Be Sad,
Yeah.
Chuck. Apparently, when I went, he said like on Monday that Chuck was bringing a whole group of people, and I think he did a video there. I think on one of his channels, and so I hurried up and got my video out before he got there, so that I don't want to have my video right after. Not that anybody's got. I mean, he's got 1 million subscribers, fifty
Yeah.
thousand subscribers, and I got like
Yeah.
10. So
But that sandwich you had looked great.
oh, it was huge. It was the real deal. Apparently, that guy used to be a chef somewhere in America,
Yeah.
and
It looked
he's
really
the real
good.
deal. Yeah, very popular place there.
Do you remember the moment you fell in love with Thailand? Yeah, it was pretty quick. Um, let's put it this way. I spent 2 weeks here and I went back and right then I was, matter of fact, I was halfway between Japan and Atlanta. And I said, I've been gone from the States for 10 days or whatever it was. And I said, I haven't seen one fight. I haven't seen one argument, one mean person. Uh, what the hell am I doing going home? So I guess that's what it was for me.
Mine was in 2010. I didn't really know anything about Thailand that much. I was going on a trip to Japan, and we it was in like February, and had a bunch of airline miles to go wherever, and I wanted to take a big trip, so we were going to go to Japan. Like, well, the weather could be 50s, 60s. We're like, well, let's go somewhere where we can go, get a couple beach days. And we're like, oh, we'll go to Thailand, and not knowing anything like about Thailand. Like, now I know all these beautiful beaches and islands. I never heard of Koh Samui or Koh Phangan or any of these places. Then like, oh, this Pattaya looks, there's a beach, that's a good beach place. And there's all kinds of bars and nightlife. So yeah, I'd say, we showed up at the, flew in. I think our flight landed at midnight, and took a cab to our hotel was on Soy 7, right
Hmm.
in between, is the Eastony, between Beach Road and Second Road. So I'll say that when I fell in love with Pattaya is we're coming with the cab and we're kind of half asleep. And then we make a left from Beach Road, come up Soy 7, and we kind of wake up. The guy's like, oh, we're almost here. And we're looking, and there's just wall to wall ladies on the street. And this is 2 o'clock in the morning. And we're
Yeah.
like, it looks like Mardi Gras going on the street. I mean, this was in 2010. Like, we had no idea. We had when we did our research, we thought, okay, there's this walking street. That's but we didn't realize like the whole town's like that and like how crazy it was. It was kind of an accident. Like, oh my god, this place is nuts.
It's definitely, it's a shock because we're not used to seeing what we see. I remember the
Mhm.
thing that impressed me the most about getting here, and what I missed the most is the minute you got off the plane in Bangkok, there was a different smell. You could smell the food cooking,
Mm,
and we'd get in a taxi cab and we'd go down Succumbit Road, and most of the time we'd get in at night, and I'd roll the window down, and there's all those people cooking on the sides of the road. That's back before they removed the street vendors, and it was just, I don't know, it's just something I fell in love with. I'd walk up and down the streets just smelling the food, and
I'll tell you what. When I got back here, uh, it was like November 1st, 2020, when I got back to go into quarantine, and I remember getting out of the cab to go into that damn quarantine hotel for 2 weeks. And right getting out of that cab, I could just smell
yeah,
all the senses and the smell of
I know,
Bangkok, of, just all the food and everything. And then, I'd sit. I paid a little extra and got like a patio on my room, and it went out to the pool. But we weren't allowed to go in the pool, but I could hang out on the patio. And so I'm laying on the patio, and I'm just smelling all that
Yeah.
street food, everything. And then I'm getting this garbage food that they're serving me for 2 weeks, and all. It was like torture. It was
Oh
ridiculous.
God, no, that would be hard. I couldn't imagine being cooped up in a hotel room for 2 weeks. It would just probably drive me
No, it was,
batty. But you
and
got
then
to
when
do
you get
what
to
you got.
Pattaya, and you get a little bit of that sewage smell mixed in, from
Yeah.
the sewers and stuff. It's just a great smell. It's just awesome.
Oh, well, guys, we've reached an hour, and I think we're going to take off for now. And appreciate everybody coming in. And I'll leave a link in the description to Greeny's channel. Subscribe to his channel. He's got a great channel. I love watching your videos. I mean, it just cracks me up.
Oh, guess what happened today? So, I've been trying to the days, occasionally if I put a couple of regular videos a week, I try to put a couple of the short videos up. So I
Yeah,
made one that I put up today, and I actually, kind of took my time. Did like, 2, 3 second little thing. I tried to do it the way they say you're supposed to do it. Put some music in, and
yeah,
in the first 20 minutes, I had 4,500 views on it, and I could
yeah,
look at my chart and it went like that, and then like usually they don't let me go that long and I don't get that many views because you have to have like 100% or 98% watch time. And but this one did, for the first 20 minutes to get that many views. I was like totally surprised. So I had heard just watching those instructional videos, just
yeah,
keep putting them out, but they have to be interesting. It kind of has to go with your channel, because if
yeah,
it doesn't, then you piss off your subscribers. If I'm doing shorts about you know, I don't know how to do Photoshop or something. It's not
yeah.
related to Thailand or travel. So we'll
I
see.
did. I went for breakfast this morning at Gecko, and I just did one of my breakfast, American breakfast, eggs and bacon and whatever other stuff that was there, and I sent it up right from there, and got in my car and came home. And by the time I got home, it already had 1,600 views on it. And
Wow.
ooh,
That's
I
because
think
they
it's
put it on that short shelf. They call it the
yeah,
short shelf. So they push it out and then they put it on there. And you may get on there for 2 minutes. You may get on there for 5 minutes. But if it all has to do with duration, I think people watching
yeah,
you, because they're gonna go through and see your video. If they just go right by it, that's really bad. But if they'll sit and you get, retention of like, it depends how long your video is. If it's 15 second, you got to be like over 100% retention. That means people are watching it more than once. If it's like ours today was like 34 seconds. So I would guess you got to be like 95%, 92%. I don't know. Let me see, because it takes a while to update the retention, but I can tell you right now, it should be on there now what my retention was on that. So, oh, it was only 49%. So that's why I'm surprised that they even left it on that long.
mm,
Because I average 89 to 96%
yeah.
retention. I'm surprised that it stayed on that long.
Well, the thing that I like about doing shorts are sometimes we see things that you don't want to make a whole video about, but it's something that's neat. And
Mm-hmm.
I pull out my phone, I'll do a short video on it, and boom, it's right up. And
Yeah.
I enjoy doing them like that. I think that YouTube is probably going to put more emphasis on short videos than they are on long videos at some point in time. They're trying
Yeah.
so hard to compete with TikTok that that's probably the only way they can do it. But
Yeah, they're doing it right. They really want you to, from what I understand, watching the tutorial videos, they really want creators to put those up too.
yeah,
I have another thing on mine called stories that once you get to 10,000 subscribers, you'll have stories. And I've only done like one story, but maybe when I'm in Vietnam, I'll do a couple like, hey,
yeah,
today we're doing this or so. I don't even know what's the difference between a
yeah.
short and a
I haven't
story. I
even
don't even
looked
know
at
what the
that yet.
point is.
I need to look at that
Yeah.
and see. Well, we're going to close it out. Appreciate you stopping in, and
All right.
appreciate everybody coming in and asking questions and stuff. And we'll be here next week, or I'll be here. Maybe Greeny, you'll be here probably.
I'll be back. I should be back, and hopefully maybe I'll have something interesting to add to the
I'd love to hear
conversation
about
about
your
Vietnam.
Vietnam trip. But hey,
Yeah, so we'll
have a good
see.
time. Be careful.
All right,
Okay,
Greeny
see
out.
y'all. Thanks. Bye bye.
Greeny out. Okay.